B'ezrat Hashem, the Divrei Torah and the Yoshvot today of the Yitzchak Luria Ashkenazi, Alav Shalom, the Ari Kadosh. We're speaking about the Sfirot in the Tanya, so it's very appropriate. The Arizal revealed much Torah and wisdom in regards to the spiritual worlds. He opened up the meanings of the Sefer HaZohar and told us a lot of the secrets of Kabbalah, what really happens above, and we have to fix here, and it'll correspond to above. So it's B'ezrat Hashem, his zechut should protect all of us. Yeah. Eliyahu Navi revealed many secrets to him, and he was very wise, knew all of Halacha, Gada, Mishnayot, Gemara. He knew, he was able to tell people what their Gilgul is and what their Tikkun is. He understood what the animals were saying, understood what the trees rustling, the leaves meant. He was able to see what was happening in the world, even if he wasn't in that place. An unbelievable person, a huge giant, and in a small amount of time. Rav Chaim Vital learned with him not even 2 years, and he revealed all the secrets that he revealed to Rav Chaim Vital, and he wrote it down. So it's a very huge giant in the Jewish world, and B'ezrat Hashem, we should be able to learn from his teachings and become that much better. So the Rav Yoram says over here, he says that we need to realize that the way we act here is going to cause an effect in the spiritual worlds, and therefore we need to focus on each of the sfirot, and that way the sfirot above will also fulfill their purpose and give us with shefa, give us with bounty, give us with the plentiness, B'ezrat Hashem. So he says, Avraham Avinu, he was the example, and he was the excellence in midat hesed. Right, he understood how to understand another person and how to do for another person. The same thing for ourselves. We need to work on being giving and thinking about the other person, not only ourselves. Then we have Gevurah, which is Yitzhak, right? To go and conquer your desire, hold yourself back, like Yitzhak. He held himself back to allow his father to kill him. That Yitzhak, right? He held himself back. He wants to live. He says, "Okay, my father said I have to." So therefore, a person has to learn to do what's right, even though he has a desired other way. It's called Gevurah. So a person has to work on that as well. And derech eretz, a lot of times when people say something not nice to you, people do something that bothers you, and you want to, let your rage out, you hold it back, fix the midah of Gevurah, fix the sfirah of Gevurah. Then you have tiferet, right? To splendor, which is a balance between chesed and Gevurah. To give kavod to something is tiferet, right? You give a shiur, you make it nice, you bring nice books, and you give kavod to the Torah. You put in a nice spread of food so people should come, enjoy. You want the shul to look beautiful, give pe'er, splendor to Hashem, kavod to Hashem. It's the right balance between mercy and fear. And hidur mitzvah, we said to do the mitzvah beautifully. Every time you do a mitzvah, to buy the nicer version of it, and to do it with kavod. So therefore, a person has to go like this: each sfirah, netzach, right? When you're dealing with other people, to be chutzpahdik, or to be pushing for their mitzvah, pushing for holiness, hod, to be giving in and to not argue, like Aaron HaKohen, to always make peace. He was in the midah of hod, yesod. There's obviously the guarding the breed, the guarding your eyes, and attaching only to holiness, staying away from tumah. And obviously malchut is making Hashem the king, and kingship, which is praying and having faith and realizing that Hashem runs the world, not anybody else. And therefore he says that we have to work on the 7 sfirot in order to relate to the midot, to get the shefa from above. V'chochma bina da'at nikrut imod mekol midot. He says, but the source, how do you work on chesed? There's a button you press inside of yourself. Have emunah, be giving, hold your desires. It's very hard. From where? From where am I going to get this koach? So he says, from chochma bina da'at. Chabad. Chochma bina da'at, you have to work on chochma bina da'at. Those are like the source, and then it trickles down and it'll fix the rest. Right. So therefore a person has to make sure to grow his wisdom. What's chochma? Wisdom. You know a lot of things. I know a lot of different good ideas. Then bina is, I take one idea and I go in depth about it, and I open it up more, and I get more out of that one idea. There's some people who know a little bit about a lot of things. There are some people who know not so much, but they know very well a few things. So Binah is knowing very well this one thing. Chokhmah is knowing a little bit about a lot, right? I know about this, I know about that, I know about that. Well then, when you take the two together, and you put it together, everything that you know it very well, And in that thing, you got what? You got a dot. Now you got a dot. Dot is a higher consciousness. You understand? So therefore, the Gemara says, whoever has a dot, the Gemara says it's as if the temple was built in his days. Why? Because when we had the temple, we knew a God. We knew God very well. We were very close. We saw miracles. We saw the Shekhinah amongst us. So therefore what? So therefore everybody had that. Everybody understood and realized what their purpose in the world is, and they realized they have to serve Hashem. But what? There we don't have the temple, so a lot of people lost their dot. They lost their consciousness. But somebody who got it back because he studied and he got holy and he came close to Hashem, he got that. It's as if the temple was built in his days. It's as if the temple was here already for him. Because he already got the dot the temple was supposed to give him. So therefore, you got to work on getting dot in order to be able to fix all the 7 midot. Good. ביור עניין, כי הנה השכל שבנפש משכלת, הוא המשכיל לכל דבר, נקרא בשם חוכמה, כוח מה. So he says that the sechel that's in the soul is related to the chokhmah, to wisdom, and that gives us the intellect. And he says chokhmah is really, the Zohar says, koach ma. Chokhmah is same letters, koach ma. Koach is strength. Ma is what? The koach of what? What's the koach of what? So he says that our sechel, we have to know that we can know something, but at the end of the day, what do we know already? Meaning to say, we don't rely only on our wisdom, we rely on the fact that there's wisdom above us, and then we have to learn more, and we have to realize that Hashem is the real chokhmah. Our chokhmah, some people think they're chacham. Fsios nali, I know everything, don't tell me what to do. No, the real wisdom is koachma, to say, what do I know? Hashem knows really. We don't know everything about every situation. Hashem knows really. Koachma. So therefore he says that we have to realize that at the end of the day we need the koach from above, right? It says a chokhmah is like a seed that you put in the ground. It's very small, but can lead to a lot of fruit. People think to invest in the understanding is, I don't like to learn, I don't like to study. But what? A person has to know that he has to put water and invest in the seed of chokhmah, and then he'll be able to really change the way he lives his life. When you go and put efforts in growing your intellect, but now, I know I have to have wisdom. I know there's an upper wisdom. How do I grow my wisdom? Now you need bina. What is bina? Bina is understanding, deeper understanding. You have to go and work on your understanding. A lot of people, they say, "Oh, Rabbi, I know there's a God. I know I have emunah. I know I believe everything comes from Him." Say, good, you have wisdom, but now you need to make it deeper. How do you make this wisdom deeper? Bina. You need to go mitbonen. You have to go and instill in yourself this idea of deeper inside of yourself. You can have emunah, but it's very superficial. You have to make it deeper and make it stronger. There's many levels in emunah. There's many levels in Torah wisdom. Okay, you know about Torah mitzvot. You know a little bit, but there's way more to learn. Each halakha you could go deeper. Each gemara you could go deeper. Each parasha you could always go deeper. Okay, I know more or less the parasha, but there's a lot of secrets over there you don't know. It's going deeper. It's bina. So therefore, a person has to know. He has to work on it, making it deeper. Now we know, for example, Shlomo HaMelech. He said very, very deep things. Right? He was very intellectual. Right? And afterwards, a lot of times he used to say things, and people didn't understand what he said. He used to ask, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And then they told him, "No, we don't understand." So what did he do? He always used to make mashal. He always used to make a parable to help understand what he was saying. And then what happened? Until, let's say, after the mashal, they still didn't understand. So he would give another mashal. The ability to take something and to dumb it down, and to break it up, and to understand each part and explain it to somebody else, that's also part of Bina. That's also wisdom. People think, yeah, I know it. Okay, now explain it. I went to Shiur. People go to Shiur. I heard beautiful 1 hour Shiur on a parasha. Okay, say what he said. I don't know, something, Korah, Gilgul, something about washing hands, you know. He doesn't understand. He doesn't. But it was beautiful in the moment. I had it. But so he says that's also a skill. You have to work on that. It's called chokhmah. Is I understand what he was saying, but bina is to be able to internalize it and give it over to somebody else. You know. So a person has to pray for that and ask for that and work on that, because it's also part of having wisdom. So therefore he says that this is part of bina. Now he says that the Gemara says that Ben Zoma he was a tzaddik, and he was a darshan. He was a great speaker. The Gemara says, when Zoma died, met Ben Zoma, but lo darshanim. Once Ben Zoma passed away, all the darshanim, the expounders, there was no more expounders. He was the best expounder, right? And what? He was able to read a pasuk and understand the halachot that come from the pasuk very easily, and he was very, very wise. For example, Ben Azai, right? Ben Azai was also a big tzaddik, and when he was speaking divrei Torah, the Midrash says fire used to come and surround him when he used to speak in divrei Torah. And you see that all these tzaddikim, all these people, they grew their wisdom. Look how much power their wisdom gave them. Elisha ben Avuya, also, he was the rabbi of Meir Balanes, and what happened to him in the end? Okay, he went off the derech, and they called him Acher, and what? And a person who doesn't grow his wisdom, he sits with the wisdom he has. Chaz v'shalom, he could fall off. Look at Elisha ben Avuya, he fell off also. The Gemara Masech Chagiga says he used to listen to the non-Jewish music. That's why I made him go off the derech. Some say another version over there says he used to read the Greek philosophy books. That's why I made him go off the derech. But the point is, you have to grow your wisdom. You cannot just keep the wisdom you have. You have to constantly grow. So therefore, what? So therefore, he says that this is the main effort a person has to make. And now he says, "Vehen av em." The chokhmah and the binah, they're like the father and mother. You need both of them, right? A person who's only raised by a father, he's going to be missing something. A person who's only raised by his mother is also missing something. So you need both. You need chokhmah and you need binah. Chokhmah miyaladot avat Hashem v'yad v'achto. Chokhmah and binah, they give you the ability to have love for Hashem and fear of Hashem and awe of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Some people, they serve Hashem because they have to, because this is my family, and because the community, and because I'm scared about not to get punished in the world to come. But there's many more levels than that. To really serve Hashem, you have to work on learning Torah, and that way you learn to have a love for Hashem. Not just do it because you're scared. You have to do it because you love Hashem. Or how can I love Hashem? Why should I love Hashem? So you have to study Torah, and you have to study Musar, and you'll realize the lessons the Torah teaches us, gives us reasons to love HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what should I love about HaKadosh Baruch Hu? And then to have not just fear of punishment, awe. What's awe? Awe is a higher level of fear. It's a fear of, well, how can I let HaKadosh Baruch Hu down? Your father calls you. Your father's 7 years old. He calls, he tells you, asks you for a favor. What, you're scared he's going to beat you up? That's why you go and help him? No, you have fear of him. Like, God forbid I should go and against my father. You know how much he did for me? You know how much respect I have for him? I'm scared to let him down. That's the fear you should have of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a higher level. Yes, you could start with fear of Gehinom, that's true. But you have to have a higher fear. Yirat Romemut, a higher fear of the awe of Hashem. And that all comes from learning. It's not just going to come like this. Person says, Rabbi, I have a test. It's hard for me to wake up in the morning. So you have to study why it's important to get up early in the morning. To study what it means to pray, and why should I pray to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and how important it is. That's growing your chukhmah. Because the intelligence of a soul, when he goes in depth and he studies more and he learns about the greatness of Hashem, how Hashem fills all the worlds. Sovev kol almin. He's the reason though all the worlds are existing. So then what? Therefore, then they'll lead to having fear of Hashem. But you have to study. You have to see the greatness of Hashem in order to fear Him. As the Arizal writes in Shar Kavanot, Shekol echad misrael chaya b'shneim. Each person has to have fear and love for Hashem. Ki gam or pnimi or makif. That's the inner light and the surrounding light. Or makif or pnimi. Pnimi comes amal Torah. The inner light comes from study Torah. Makif, and the outer light comes from doing mitzvot. So what? So if a person what's the outer light? Outer light is when you have spirituality and you have understanding that's above you. I know about this, but I don't know it so well. It's not part of me. It's like surrounding me, right? I know it's the right thing, but it's not inside of me. Torah makes it or pnimi. Mitzvot make you or makif, surrounding light. I'm surrounded by spirituality, but did I get inside myself? How do I get it inside myself? Amala Torah, says Arizal. You have to study Torah and you internalize. Then you get or pnimi. Then you get the inner light. So therefore he says that a person has to make sure to do both. For example, they say mezuzah. Person puts a mezuzah, he has or makif on his house. Person puts tzitzit, he's or makif on himself. But the Torah becomes or pnimi. He becomes internalizes it. So that's the power of learning. Kula kamem kelo hashir. and you'll realize that nobody and nothing is compared to Hashem. Nothing is in front of Hashem. Meaning to say that when you realize the greatness of Hashem and how He makes the whole world, He's the master of the universe. You will give nobody kavod over HaKadosh Baruch Hu. People think, no, listen, he's a multi-millionaire, I have to listen to him. Listen, he's a very respected person in the community, I don't want to go against him. Right? No. HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kavod comes first before anybody. And no one himself will have ga'ava, no one himself will think that I am somebody because I realize how much Hashem does and I am just nothing. I'm just holding the cup, Hashem fills the cup. He's the one who fills the faucet. So therefore, a person who realizes and studies about HaKadosh Baruch Hu, look how many great things come out from what? By studying, by raising your intellect. Person thinks that just push yourself harder, just try harder, just keep going, just do it. No, it's not going to help. You need to have the gas. What's the gas? The chokhmah, the wisdom. And if you grow your wisdom, you study, then all of a sudden all the doors start opening for you. Why? Because you start realizing what's what and how important things are, and then you'll do it. They say you want to work on any sin, study the punishments about it, study the importance of it, and then you'll start thinking, "Oh, I shouldn't do this." Because the guy says, "I didn't know not keeping your vow is important. I thought you just whatever you break your word, you make your word, you break your word. Well, who cares?" No, you have to study what the Gemara says. If you don't keep your word, what happens? And a person all of a sudden starts saying bli neder. He starts guarding his mouth. He sees how many sins and how bad it is, and then how good it is to keep your word. Only because he studied. If you didn't study, you would never know. So we should always to study, especially on Shabbat, to study with times 1,000 the mitzvah. Study, and then that way we'll change our way and get the koach, get the power of what? The chokhmah.